Hi, today we are with the crew of Indulgence, and we're going to find out what makes them special on charter with these questions in this interview. So if you guys can introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Captain Tim Clark.
Simone Trevino, chef.
And I'm third mate Michael D'Amico.
Great. So how'd you guys end up in the Virgin Islands chartering down here?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, backed up with my Navy experience, I've always been in the water. I was nicknamed in the Navy the fish. So, I'm the fish without the gills. But I've always had a love and a knack of being in the boating community, yachting community. We used to always bring our charter guests, at the time we were doing bareboat charters down the Virgin Islands, and just fell in love with it. We just couldn't get enough of it. So we made it a reality, and we sold everything, and here we are down here chartering now.
Where'd you guys come from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in northern Indiana. Always spent a lot of time on the Great Lakes and many different lakes throughout the Michigan and northern Indiana.
I was born in Chicago and learned to walk in Texas. Was spent a lot of time on the water, fishing with my dad in the Gulf of Mexico, and just anything related to water. We spent a lot of time there as family.
Right. How about you, Michael?
I'm from Northeast Ohio. I grew up in a large Italian family with 4 sisters, tons of love, and always kind of a host of a party. So I spent most of my adult life in Florida and Arizona, and the best decision I ever made in my life was moving to the Caribbean a few years ago.
Right on. So if you guys can talk about your favorite charter memory, what made it unique?
I think for me, it was definitely this season. It was during my birthday week, and the charter guests decided, since it's Captain Tim's birthday, we're going to go ahead and give him a mohawk, and which I didn't have much say with the matter. And they even brought their own shears to go ahead and mohawk me. So, the trooper that I am, I said, yeah, absolutely, let's go ahead and get mohawks. So all the male charter guests, we all got mohawked. So it was kind of a very fun and exciting, memorable time.
That's great. Very committed to the charter guest experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about you, Stephen?
I think for me, it has to be a guest that we had this season. She was recovering from cancer. She survived cancer, and she had recently had her last treatment. So she brought her ticket that she would take in when she get chemotherapy, burned it, and then we toasted with champagne, and just that she was clear and free from cancer. So that was definitely very special. And that she chose to spend it with us was really special.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, Michael, what would you say your off-season hobbies are? What do you like to do?
I really like being in the Virgin Islands. Although I traveled a lot of my life, this is paradise. It's hard to go anywhere else. I love going to find little secret surf spots around the Virgin Islands. I love to hike a lot to petroglyphs and ruins. But going over to Maho Beach and enjoying swimming with turtles and seeing octopus and just all the amazing things that are on this island. There's something new and unique around every corner. It's amazing.
Always so much to explore out here.
It really is.
How about you, Stephen? What's your off-season hobbies?
So off-season hobbies still includes a lot of water, a lot of snorkeling, beach time, RVing. When we're not here, we'll go back to Texas and just RV across the country, go see former charter guests, go see friends and family. We've definitely spent a lot of time with charter guests off the season as well. Yes.
How about you, Tim?
I think for me, I enjoy playing golf. I enjoy playing softball. Love to definitely take nice road trips, listen to some really great music, and definitely beach time. I mean, beach is it's part of our second home, really.
Yes.
So if there's water involved, we're going to be in it or around it. Have our toes dug in the sand, and and also I love to go and visit our previous charter guests too. So it's nice to create that experience with them and just get to know one another, and that's kind of the reason our why. Yeah, that's our why.
Yeah, awesome. Michael, so what would you say your best vacation was, and what made it special?
I think my best vacation was last year. I got to be with a family here in the Virgin Islands on their yacht, and I did a lot of bay hopping and got to go spear fishing and snorkeling with the nephews and nieces, and seeing those innocent faces. I get to see turtles for the first time and catch fish in the Virgin Islands, and just immersed in absolute paradise. I think it was tops of my list for sure.
Amazing. How about you?
My favorite vacation has to be when my husband proposed on the beach, and then we went back 6 months later, came back 6 months later, and got married at sunset on the beach. Yes, definitely.
I think for me, I mean, I've been all over the world, my Navy days, seen some of the most incredible places in the world. I bring back to the Virgin Islands, our love for the Virgin Islands and coming down here, and just we just couldn't get enough of it. I love to be down here. I love to experience and show our charter guests what we love about the islands and give them the history of the Virgin Islands.
Definitely. So speaking of the Virgin Islands, what would you say your favorite anchorage or mooring boat location anywhere to take guests to would be?
I think for me, I enjoy. It depends what our guests really like to do. If you want a nice quiet evening or a nice quiet spot, then I'll base the itinerary off those little quiet little coves we can tuck into and anchor to. In the BVIs, we can make a nice sail out to Anegada and do a nice lobster dinner on the beach and bounce over to Soggy Dollar and be right there on the beach too and spend some time. So if you're into quiet times, we've got the places for you. If you're into more of the partying, getting off, and want to experience the cuisine and some of the nightlife, then we got the places to take you ashore too.
Sounds great. How do you see that?
For me, I love Megan's Bay on the U.S. side, one of my favorites. A second favorite is more Sandy Spit on the British side. Small little island you can only get to by boat, and you can walk the entire island in like 10 minutes. It's only got a couple of palm trees, but it's very secluded, very quiet, not the crowds, and it's just a beautiful place to spend, a picnic on the beach and just spend some time in the water. Just beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing spot. How about you, Michael?
Well, every time I have a favorite spot, somehow Captain Tim finds a better spot. He's a master of finding all the most incredible spots in all the Virgin Islands. I really enjoy going to Maho Beach. It's like being on a movie set. Swim with turtles, great concessions on the beach. But we also do a lot of cool little picnics on the beach and things like that. And I'm able to help blow away the guests with some amazing service and bar flair on the beach and things like that. So, but every time I have a good spot, he seems to top it, which is a great thing.
Good stuff. So on charter, what would you say your special or unique skill would be? Anything that makes you stand out?
Yeah, for sure. I spent 25 years in the restaurant and bar industry, and I really got to master a lot of skills in high-end service, bar flair as well. So I'm able to team up with the captain and Chef Siboney and pair wines and whiskeys and mocktails, whatever it takes to really, really give the best service that we can possibly give. High-end food, whatever you're looking for, we're really going to wow you with our service for sure.
Awesome. How about you, Stephen? Any unique skills?
Unique skills would have to include being creative in the kitchen. Love to create and have some new items on the menu. It's ever changing. So what previous charter guests have had one charter, they returned may not have the same thing. I'm adding some courses that I'm taking to in Cordon Bleu while we're in Europe. So we're going to add more French cuisine to the menu, but still keeping the basic fun comfort foods, local seafood, lots of fresh herbs, lots of fresh greens. But that's my favorite. I mean, even when we're not on charter, it's creating and playing in the kitchen for sure.
Sounds great. What you, Tim?
Well, I mean, I have a couple actually, definitely unique skills. I mean, I love to get up since we have a really awesome karaoke machine. If the guests invite Captain Tim to come up and sing some karaoke, I love to break out my voice a little bit and just let loose with the guests and just have some fun with them. And I think another one too is just trying to find that very unique, find all the hot spots, find all the perfect anchorages that I can get there first a lot of times, and knowing the locals and having a great connection with the locals too, we got the opportunities to get the places first before a lot of people get there. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the big part of it is trying to find the best location, get the best spot that we can in any anchorage.
Yes.
Definitely. So Stephen, let's talk about some food now. What would you say your favorite dish is and what makes it unique?
So my favorite is the Mahi Wellington. A lot of people have had different versions of that, but they've never had Mahi Wellington. So I love to take local, fresh caught, put that on a bed of cream spinach, wrap it in a beautiful pastry, serve it with some fresh asparagus, or Some Parmesan risotto is always a hit. And apparently the guests and the brokers both like it. The folks we've had here at the Broker Yacht Show have definitely left some great reviews, guests as well, and that's definitely my favorite. Yes.
Sounds amazing. What would you say influences your cooking style?
So I do follow several chefs, but Ina Gerten is one of my favorite. She does a lot of French cuisine. Of course, Gordon Ramsay, he's one of the top chefs in the world. He's another one that I follow. And it's funny because Tim and I, when we do have downtime, I'm either watching all my chefs or he's watching all his boats, and we go back and forth trying to find on who's watching what between Food Network and boating.
Yeah, I enjoy the food stuff too.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I think we all do. But yeah, definitely those two.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for watching. That's all we have. If you want to experience anything we talked about today, come on down in Indulgence, and these three will take you on the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, come spend a week with us.
Yes, come on.
Please, thank you.
We're waiting for you.
We're ready to wow you.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice day.